Welcome to Act 2 You're On. Join us weekly at our studio roundtable as Rhonda, Kate, and Linda invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy. Launch your next great act with authenticity and purpose.
Summon your courage, superstar, and step into the limelight. So grab a coffee
or a martini,
and let's set the stage for a grand entrance. It's Act 2.
You're on.
Greetings, friends. I am Linda Tai, and I have the great pleasure of podcasting today with my two dynamic A2YO co-hosts,
Kate Levy. And I'm Rhonda Garvin-Conaway, and we are also joined by our very talented producers, Kathy Carswell.
And we are so thrilled today to be talking with Irina Serebryakova. But I do want to say to our listeners, do you find that you have a hard time balancing the hard work it takes to achieve the business, work, and income goals while maintaining a healthy body and feeling as vibrant as you want to feel? We often know we need a coach to help us achieve our business and financial goals, but how about an expert to help us achieve our peak health goals? And I can think of nobody better than Irina to help you with that kind of dedicated attention. So let me tell you a little bit about what she does. Irina is a functional medicine nurse practitioner. She integrates traditional allopathic medicine with a variety of holistic modalities. She uses superior nutrition and herbs for digestive problems and weight management. She utilizes natural hormones for endocrine and hormone balancing, joint health, anti-aging, and disease prevention. Irina believes that the path to optimal health and harmony can only be achieved by addressing the care of the whole person: digestion, sleeping patterns, immunity, nutrition, toxicity level, hormone status, and lifestyles are all very important. As a holistic medical practitioner, Irina believes that the human body has an incredible ability to heal and to regenerate. Her goal in treating you as a patient is to guide you, to give you tools, and to empower you in restoring balance and preventing disease. Irina is passionate about health and well-being and enjoys helping people to reach their optimal wellness. So thank you so much for being here, Irina.
Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you. It's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm happy to share the information about health, and I'm very excited to be here.
Fantastic, because I feel like the three of us were particularly excited when we heard about your expertise.
Yes.
Thank you.
I started to know Irina when she was working at a big practice, and she was one of the practitioners. And now you have your own practice, and that's a bold move. And so we want to know, a little bit about your path, how you got from medical to functional medicine. Kind of just tell us about your path.
Sure. Well, I was always a health nut, even back in the Ukraine, even though I was trained as an engineer. So I was hosting the TV program, and I also competed and to become a fitness champion. And I hosted the program about health and well-being. I learned that I love to share information with others. For me, fitness represented the fitness of the body, of mind, of emotional state. So I always try to stay in that state of my body and the mind. And then when I went to university to obtain my master's degree, I decided that I will convert my passion into my career. So I converted from the engineer into a nurse practitioner. So during my master's program, every time I was giving an assignment, I would provide two answers: traditional and non-traditional, that would incorporate the integrative approach to many different treatments. By the time I graduated, I already had the reputation of holistic functional nurse practitioner. So it was always a passion of mine. And just to tell you, differentiate the functional medicine and the allopathic Western medicine. The allopathic Western medicine focuses on symptoms. And usually there's two options that given. It's medication and surgeries. Unlike functional medicine, we focus on the cause of the symptoms, and then we address that root cause of the condition. This approach allows us to balance the body and to optimize the system to actually function at the highest level, without the medications, without the surgeries.
That's so helpful to hear that distinction for me and for the audience. I just want to applaud you as well for sharing your story of how you were committed to your passion and you integrated it into your career path. I think that's a good lesson for all of us so that we can take permission to bring what our values are to our work life. And I'm thinking about right now, many of the people listening to our podcast are getting ready to launch their next great thing. They're in their next phase of life, and they might be sitting on a good idea, or they're pivoting and they're starting a new job, or they're launching a new business. Why is this kind of approach important to those people in that next great act? Why would they want to pursue this kind of caretaking for themselves and their health? Tell us how we can all be better and how it correlates with what we do out in our professional lives.
Sure. Health is essential part of our well-being. So if we're not well or not healthy, if we don't sleep well, it will create the obstacles in our profession, and our stamina will not be the same. Our focus will not be the same. I think it's very important to keep your health at the optimal level. It's important to prevent the disease. It's much easier to prevent the disease than to deal with the symptoms. To me, prevention wasn't always the main focus. No, I believe that we can upregulate genetics. As I say to my patients, some genes are written in pencils and some genes are written in pen. So we can upregulate genetics. And you probably all heard about epigenetics. So what we learned from that new emerging science, that every cell in the body, communicate with the environment. And this is how we evolve, and this is how we heal, or just the opposite, get some symptoms, condition, illnesses. So very important to think about what we eat, what we drink, what kind of air we have around us. I guess another term is the quality. So keyword is the quality of everything that we eat, that we consume, that we inhale, quality of water, quality of food, quality of relationships. So it's very important to sustain in our lives.
That's a really great distinction. I think that allopathic medicine has taught us about the quick fix, right? So if we don't notice any symptoms, then we don't think anything's wrong. And if we notice symptoms and they give us a pill or the surgery or whatever it is that takes the symptoms away, we go, oh, okay, we're fine. The world operates in harmony. And so inside our body, it has to happen with harmony. So to be able to go to the root cause, and also to come and see you before the problems happen. You're going to spend money to be healthy now, or you're going to spend money to be sick later. Disease often happens over a long period of time. And when you see the symptoms, that means the disease state has been in your body for a long time. So I'm just going to get very personal here. This is the reason I went to see Irina in the first place. Often in our second act, we are a little bit older, we'll just say. And I know for me, menopause came a little early. I mean, not early, I guess you said it was like at the part of normal. I was 48 and I was into menopause, and I was really wanting to figure out how to go through it smoothly and feel better and not lose my bone density. And so can we talk a little bit about, and I know that you've told me that women aren't the only ones who experience it, but men do too. I know it's my personal thing, but I think it's something that in our second act we're dealing with. And so it's a weird time. Your body's doing things that you're like, whoa.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
And before you answer that, I just want to say, if you are a man listening to this, I bet there's someone out there you love who is a woman dealing with this. So even if it's not your journey, there's someone you love who might be going through it. And I bet that this answer is going to be beneficial to you as well. So don't tune out. Stay with us.
So menopause is a transitional and transformational time for women. I guide my patients on how to embrace that transition with grace and joy. Our hormones start to decline in our 40s. And there's many factors that contribute to that change. For example, genetics, stress, environment, lifestyle, exercising, medications, the alcohol. All of those things contribute to a change in the hormones. And it is essential to provide those nutrients, the necessary nutrients, to our organs and glands and cells that are responsible for production of the hormones. We need those building blocks for every biochemical reaction in our complex endocrine system. And so we also need to have a robust detoxification system in order to get rid of all the endocrine disruptors and other toxins. Congested liver and lymph often is the culprit for the weight gain and severe menopausal symptoms. And those symptoms can be hot flashes and anxiety, depression, insomnia, dryness, poor libido, and the joint ache, loss of bone density, and the digestive issues too. So men, as you mentioned, they also go through the change. So it's called andropause. It happens a little later in their lives, in 50s, sometimes even in 60s. And it's not as sudden. So it's more a gradual course. The symptoms that men can experience, those of fatigue, the weight gain, especially around the abdomen, high cholesterol, the poor recovery after physical exercises, loss of muscle mass, and the mood fluctuations. It doesn't happen only in women. And men too. Sleeping problems and loss of zest for life and sex drive. So all of those symptoms we observe. Unfortunately, men are not as, they don't disclose as much information. They don't observe their bodies as much. They're not, they think it's just normal what happened to them. So they don't share that information. They don't complain. And often go undertreated for years. And unfortunately, as I said, many symptoms can lead into some other conditions. So all of these symptoms, so what I wanted, the most powerful message I want to deliver. So all of those symptoms can be addressed without the antidepressants, without the synthetic hormones, without the sleeping pills, and without the statins. So we can balance the body. We can bring the body into that healthy state. We can retrain the system how to age gracefully and without any symptoms.
Oh, that
right.
sounds good. So we often use the phrase with our clients and with our listeners, eliminating the can't by providing the how so folks can live their why. And I'm imagining that people who find their way, they must rejoice when they find you, but they are probably coming with their can't, like they can't sleep or they can't regulate their moods anymore. And they're looking for their how so that they can live a really rich life. And I'm wondering if you can give us examples or what are people, especially after the last year or two, what are people coming in need of? What's their can't? And how do you help them transform?
Yes, some people have obstacles in exercising, for example. So if I would give one advice on how to improve the energy and improve the sleep, the exercising would be number one. And we do discuss what type of exercises, what would be the reasonable routine for them. But another consequence of being sedentary, is the weight gain. So lots of patients complain of weight gain, especially since COVID. I create the individual plan for each patient, and I include appropriate diagnostics, testing. So we test the hormones first. So I ask patients to bring me their food diary. So I want to see what they eat on a regular basis. And then I create a treatment plan that include the nutritional guidance and testing and the bioidentical hormones, peptides if needed, and lifestyle modifications, of course. I guess the biggest I can't is the taste buds. We all develop the taste buds for certain things, and it's difficult to change them. And it's, for me, I'm the person, if I know it's good for me, I will do it. So, but I understand that we're all different, and I try to make that transition easy and tasty. Doable. So I have a variety of food plans that we talk about. I have a variety of different shakes that have flavors like chocolate and vanilla and strawberries. So we try to find to find a flavor that is favorite for the patient. And that is very helpful. And exercising too. So what we're doing, so we try to think about what is our favorite activity. So we need to focus, what do we actually enjoy doing? Is it yoga or is it running? Or is it biking? And then go with the exercise that would be a preferred choice. So I think then compliance is much better when we do something that we enjoy, that we truly enjoy. I guess, the change in diet and exercising routine, those are too big. I can't.
That's such an important point, linking what you really like with a goal you have. It'll be a lot easier to achieve.
Yeah, I love that approach.
And they say in 21 days, you can actually change your taste buds. It's why many of the cleansing programs should be at least 21 days. So we can actually, change them.
So, Irina, you've been practicing functional medicine for 15 years and have all 5-star reviews. That's incredibly impressive. What's the secret? Well, I think we've just heard the secret, but what would you say is the secret?
I'm passionate about health and well-being, and I continuously learning and staying up to date on all the latest scientific findings about health, about nutrition, about biologics, about laboratory and the diagnostic techniques. So you try to bring all that new information to your patients. And I care about my patients' outcome. So I have a very thorough approach, individualized approach in my assessments and treatments. And I follow up with my patients. I have very good relationship. I'm available 24/7 via email, or patients can always call to my office. I have a great nurse that works with me. And so we have a very good rapport with my patients, and they always know that I will respond to the email on the same day if they have any questions.
Yeah. And they're going to get you. And when you go to see Irina, you start to understand your body in a much different way. And when you understand your body better, I think you're more able to and more motivated to do the right things for your body, so you can have a longer, not just a longer lifespan, because we all know humans are having longer lifespans, but we want to have a longer health span.
I think you bring up a really important point, and that is understanding your body, especially when your body has worked a certain way for a long, long time. And suddenly you hit this stage that people were warning you about. And you're like, it's just not happening to me. And then suddenly you're at that stage, you're like, so I don't know how this body works. And that's why I feel like I have.
Yeah. The woman's body is very sensitive and very affected by drop in the hormones. And bioidentical hormones can be truly transformational. My goal is to educate women about natural hormones, about the peptides. Tell my patients the suffering is optional.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
I also think as an aging athlete, I long for the kind of exercise that I used to do. I just can't, my body can't tolerate it. So I do think it's helpful to have someone to be in dialogue, not only about your health matters and understanding your body better, but also understanding you can still exercise. You just have to be smart about it. And so I'm afterwards, I'm getting your number and I'll call you right away. But now we're at this point in this conversation that we'd love to shift, Irina, into, we call it the golden nugget. So if you can offer our listeners and the three of us some bit of tangible information, it's either a mantra or something that you've learned from your life experience or from your work that would be helpful for our listeners.
Sure. Number one thing, we need to clean our diet, clean off endocrine disruptors and simple carbs and excessive alcohol, unnecessary medications, and the toxic relationships. This is number one. And then we want to learn. So we want to educate ourselves, learn about hormones, learn about how body is affected by hormones, about the peptides. Peptides, it's another new discovery that has been very helpful and popular for different kind of conditions, menopause and pain and sleep and the weight gain. For example, sermorelin, it's the peptide that stimulates your pituitary to produce growth hormone. So growth hormone peaks at 25. So when we're 25, it's our peak. After that, everything goes downhill. And this is, we want to help our body. We want to ascend those signals. We want to potentiate the effect of the diet and of the hormones. So this is where peptides come in place. So we can achieve incredible results. I have people who are becoming leaner, stronger. Their stamina is incredible. They can sleep again. I have people who haven't slept for years, for 10, 20 years, and now they can sleep throughout the night without interruption, and they can dream again. So dreaming, and actually it's the state of being, it's the sign of being young again. So we unfortunately lose our ability to dream. So that is kind of a sign for me that we're on the right track in the treatment. And also, we need to find the functional provider, functional provider in your area, to have a conversation, to have a test done, because the functional medicine laboratory blood work is very different from allopathic. So I test certain markers that people have never done in their entire lives with their primary care. Or I do offer telemedicine appointments too. And of course, I love to see people in person. I have a lot of different fun tools that I use. I use the muscle testing for nutritional assessment. And I also use the Zyta technology, which scans your galvanic signature and reads your system, your energy as a lie detector. And then and helps me to discover, deficiencies and stressors in your body. And so I guess it's important to find a person that you can talk to and figure out together how we can help and improve, prevent, or heal whatever is needed to be done.
Let's get informed and find that functional provider, and whether that might be you, or if you're not in the area and you're listening, let's go do that key and the gateway to living our why. Amazing.
Yes, because unfortunately, again, another difference between traditional and functional medicine. Functional medicine is not covered by insurance, and that is the deal breaker for some people. But I want to also encourage you that many functional doctors do take flexible spendings or the savings accounts. So that can be used and use it for functional medicine. And some of the insurances will do reimburse the visits also. But my point is, so we invest money into cars, into RVs, into vacation, jewelries, food, clothing. But for some reason, there's a psychological blockage that we should not spend or invest money into our own health because we have insurance, even though insurance only covers certain things. So there's a barrier that I think needs to be broken or remediated. And I think we're kind of functional medicine is going that direction. And more people are realizing that prevention is the key to health. And we are responsible for our own health. I can only guide you, but each patient is its own healer because they need to walk that path and do what I say.
Thank you so much.
One of my patients wrote a review on Google. She said, "You cannot cherry pick with her."
I like it. I like that you are tough that way. We all need that accountability in our life. I'm dreading this because we could keep going forever and ever with this conversation because it's really everything if we don't have our health. But I am the timekeeper today. So before we wrap it up, would you be kind enough just to share with our audience and with us what's next for you?
As you know, I recently opened my private practice. I finally went to that level, and I'm very excited. And even though I practiced functional medicine for 15 years, the new modality is emerging, and it's regenerative therapy. And it has limitless possibilities for anti-aging and for healing the diseases, regenerating the joints, and restoring the immune system. So I'm very excited to be on that path and learn more, and hopefully it will be accepted by larger number of people, and hopefully it will be FDA approved soon.
Yes. Well, thank you, Irina. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for, we're so grateful for this conversation, for your incredible wisdom, for your passion, for health, your bold, daring choice to live your dream and have your own practice. So it's just beautiful and wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, it was our pleasure. And we know that folks are listening are really going to be very interested in finding their way to you. So for our listeners, you can find more about Irina at youholistic.com. So YOU holistic.com. You can also find her on Facebook and Instagram.
And so I guess it is left to me to say, go forth, be brave. Live well and do good, because it's Act 2. You're on.
Act 2 You're On was brought to you by Act 2 Share Our Stage.
You can find us at a2yo.com and also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please listen and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. You can support us using Patreon. Thanks for listening.